Hi, Amanda Vickers here from the Social Credit Party. I want to talk at the moment about our binding Citizens Initiated Referenda policy. The reason I want to raise this is it's such an important policy in terms of our democracy. What it does is it gives power to the people in terms of being able to supersede our elected representatives who may not be acting in our best interests. After all, democracy is the power of the people, and yet voting every 3 years doesn't really give us much control over what our MPs are doing in the House, and this has led to a lot of discontent. A binding Citizens Initiated Referenda would allow us to repeal laws that have been put through that aren't in the public interest, or introduce new law, or to stop a law going through, such as, for example, the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement, which 71% of the population opposed. And it also would give us the ability to have a right of recall, to call a by-election if one of our elected representatives was doing the opposite thing in the House to what their pre-election promises were. So on all fronts, it just means that we've got a stronger voice in the way our country is running, and that is so important. A lot of people worry about a binding Citizens Initiated Referenda because they think there could be silly topics, but there is quite a threshold to get over. For example, the social credit policy is that 100,000 registered electors would have to sign the petition to have the referendum. Now that's significantly less than the threshold at the moment for the Citizens Initiated Referenda, which is in force at the moment, enacted at the moment. But it's still a significant threshold to get through, to get over. So you would have to have that many people in favour of the referendum in order to have a topic go to the vote. So there are ways to mitigate these things, and another one is people worry about money and vested interests. That also could be mitigated to some extent and regulated so that there was the same amount of money on both sides. These are problems that can be overcome. There's just two main caveats that we would have to ensure. The first is that minority groups could not be discriminated against, and the second one is that we couldn't have a referendum that breaches human rights. But apart from that, putting the power back with the people where it belongs in a really tangible way is one of the best ways to reclaim having the people be in charge of where our nation is heading. My view is it couldn't be worse than it already is, because we've got no say. So at least this way, it does put the people in charge and in control of what's happening in our nation. Vote social credit this election. Thanks.